Saw that how we animated the location of the object. Let us also see how we can animate the rotation or the size of this particular object. Let us just start a fresh scene. We will have the cube in the center if we press new, but you will realize that rotating a cube may not give you the desired effect. So let us change the object. For this, delete the object by selecting it and pressing delete or X, and when we have an option of adding, let us add a new object by pressing Shift A and selecting the famous monkey of Blender, which is Suzanne. Okay, let us just zoom in a bit to see Suzanne better. Now when we do this, rotation will be slightly easy to understand if we use this model. Now let us start with the 3-step procedure. We are at the current frame of 1, we do not have to change it, but just make sure you are on frame number 1. Apply transformation. Now this is not rotated anywhere right now, but let us just rotate it a bit. So press R and rotate in some direction. This is fine, looking upwards, and now we have to insert the keyframe. Press I and you will get the drop down. Here, because we are animating rotation, remember to select the rotation option instead of location. After this is done, let us go to the frame which we want to have the end state or the final state of the animation. That can be maybe 23 or 24. Let us just go to some frame. Okay, we go to frame number 25. This is our new current frame. We have to change the transformation, which was rotation earlier, to something different. Let us just press R and now rotate this in some other direction. Okay, so now if we have just completed one complete spin of this and we are happy with this, press I to insert another keyframe. An important point to be noted here is that you have to match the attribute which you have given in the earlier keyframe. Only then you can see the animation properly. What I mean is that because in frame number 1 you had selected rotation as the option, in the next keyframe you have to keep the option same. You cannot change it to location or maybe transformation or scale in this particular keyframe. In the next video we will see how to apply multiple transformations in keyframes, but right now just restrict yourselves to rotation so that we can see a proper animation. By the way, the Blender software will not give you a pop-up saying that you are doing a mistake by selecting something else. So do not try testing Blender on these things. So select rotation and you will have keyframe marked there, and when you move the timeline cursor you can see that there are 2 keyframes now. Again, like we reduce the duration of the total scene from 250 to something less, let us do it again here and let us make it 30 so that you can easily see the animation. Zoom in on the timeline to see all the frames which are visible to you now, and then press either Alt A or the play button to see how the Suzanne is having a turn, right. So this is how you can animate the rotation. I do not have to, but I will just repeat in a very fast manner of doing the same kind of steps for animating scale as attribute. So just take a new scene probably by clicking on file new, you have the cube, let us just do it with cube now, and you have to put the first position as current frame, let us make it 1 and then let us apply the transformation. So, I have just scaled it to this size. I will insert a keyframe by pressing I and select scale this time. I will go to frame number 25 and on that current frame I will have another level of scale applied. So, maybe I will reduce it this much and now I will press I again but select scale this time. I can also do a step ahead and go to frame number 40 probably and again change the scaling and make it somewhere in between the two. Press I again and insert a keyframe at this particular point like this. Okay. Now I will reduce the total size of the scene again to 50 so that I can see the animation nicely, and once I am done with this I will just play the animation to see how it looks like. For this I will use either the shortcut Alt A or I will use the play button on screen. You can see that there are 3 keyframes here and you can see the cube scaling in various sizes. There is an alternate method to this by using the transformations panel available on screen. Now, this is slightly precise way of doing it because you have to actually type the position or the scale or the rotation angle here, but this is also one way of doing it. So, therefore, I thought we will explain this to you. So, to do that let us do a small test. First of all, let us reduce the duration of the scene to 25 so that we can see our keyframes clearly. Let us zoom it in and we can see all the 25 frames on the timeline. We have the cube on frame number 1 and we are at frame number 1. On the transformation panel you have 3 sub panels of location, rotation as well as the scale. If you go to any one of these panel, for example, I go to location and I change the location of y axis of this thing, then you can see the effect happening on screen. To do so, I have to just go to y axis option and move the cursor by left clicking it. This will change the position and you can see the number there. You can also type in the desired number. For example, double click on that and maybe type number 5 there. It will just go directly to the position 5 on y axis. When you are done with this particular thing, you can insert a keyframe. Now here pressing I will directly insert the keyframe, and because you are on the location panel or you have made the changes to location panel, only that panel will get highlighted in the color yellow, which will tell you that you have inserted a keyframe here. Let us go to maybe frame number 20 and insert another keyframe there. For that I go to frame number 20 and here I can just change the location in some other axis, maybe z axis. Now I have changed it and again I press I. You can see here that Blender is not giving me that entire drop down because it knows that because of my mouse position on location panel, the keyframe will be inserted only on location. Now that the other keyframe is inserted already, let us just play the animation. Go to frame number 1 and press Alt A and you can see that the animation is getting played. You can do the same thing for rotation or even for scale. There could be a time where you will be required to delete a particular keyframe because you did not like the particular transformation or something like that. So the shortcut for that is pretty simple. When you want to delete a keyframe, go to that particular number of frames. So for example, right now I am somewhere in between on the scene, like maybe on 16 or 17. I will go to frame number 20 which I want to delete as a keyframe. I will press 20 on keyboard and press enter. I will go to this keyframe now. Here I can press Alt I as the shortcut. The moment I press that, it will ask me whether you want to delete keyframe. I will say delete keyframe, and now if you move the time cursor, you can see that there is no yellow line there, which means that the keyframe got deleted. Then you can check whether you want to add another keyframe somewhere else, and you can go to that particular current frame and do the 3 steps which we just discussed. Using transformation panel, we can delete the keyframe. For that, go to the desired keyframe. For example, I go to keyframe number 1. You see that the location panel is highlighted and the color is yellow. Press the same shortcut Alt I and it will delete the keyframe. The color will change to green, which tells you that there is no keyframe present right now. You can also do the same thing by right clicking on this panel and you will get a drop down which will give you multiple options. Right now we are concerned only with the 2 important options. One is insert keyframes and clear keyframes. These 2 things are what we just saw, and the shortcuts we know, I for inserting keyframe and Alt I for deleting the keyframes. You can do the same thing by using the right click and inserting the keyframes or deleting the keyframes. This way we have seen how you can transform in location, rotation or scale separately in 2 various ways, using the insertion of keyframes in the transformation panel as well as the other process. I suggest you practice this and keep refreshing your skills. We will see you in the next session where we will show you combination of transformations for creating an animation. Thank you.